Hey there, Wargamers, and welcome back to another Wargames Delivered video. Be sure to visit us at wargamesdelivered.com to get all the paints, miniatures, and supplies used in this video, and also to refer a friend. You guys will both get a $15 discount, and with that, let's get into the video. In this video, I'll show you how to paint the Poxwalkers from the Death Guard faction using a SLAPCHOP style with the Speedpaint 2.0s. These guys are a pretty weak infantry unit that's really good at tying your enemy up and delaying their actions. I've done a lot of Speedpaint videos recently, and I've used them quite a bit in my free time as well, but I haven't really used a SLAPCHOP style with any of my models, so I wanted to try a few in my free time, and after doing some experimenting, I figured this video would be a great showcase for that. Starting off with Grim Black, I'm using this to paint the boots and the straps of his jumpsuit. I also decided a little bit later on to paint the mask with this color as well. I think that the SLAPCHOP method really helps out bring the different tones in each of the newer speed paints. Moving on, we'll paint all of the bone mutations on the Poxwalker with Bony Matter, and this color will dry a bit lighter than how it looks on the palette, so I like to use this one pretty heavily when applying it on the model. This color from the new speed paint line has also been one of my mainstays for bone recently. Now that the Bony Matter is dry, we can move on to Forest Sprite for all of the skin on the model. This guy is very corrupted by Nurgle, so I'm not sure if skin is the right word anymore, but what used to be skin we'll cover with Forest Sprite. Right away, I really loved the shading and highlighting that was instantly apparent on the first brush stroke with this SLAPCHOP style method. For textured small infantry, this is absolutely the painting style I will use with the Speedpaint 2.0s, especially on my Games Workshop minis. Personally, I think it turned out a little bit too green for what I was going for, but in a unit of 20 of these guys, a few darker and lighter variants look great on a chaotic army like the Death Guard. And next up, we're going to paint the majority of the model using Maize Yellow over the entirety of his hazard suit. Try to avoid any areas you've already painted over because it can be very difficult to clean up with the SLAPCHOP method. For anyone interested, we have a unique promotion for all of the Army Painter paint lines over on our website at wargamesdelivered.com, where if you buy 6, you'll get 3 free paints of your choice with your order. Link for this promotion in the description below. And now we just have to paint the remaining metallic areas like the weapon and his oxygen tank on the back here using Broadsword Silver. And I think this speed paint really shines when used with washes and other normal metallics for highlights, so we'll add a bit of detail here in the following steps. And as you can tell, it shades the recesses pretty well, but it can tend to be a bit uneven in coverage. Using 2 thin coats can usually fix this if you just want to stick with the Broadsword Silver here. Here I'm also adding some more detail by adding some shadows with dark tone from the wash line. We're going to use this over the entire blade and oxygen tank, and be sure to apply this very heavily because we will be building up from this after it's dry. Now moving on to dry rust from the effect line, we're going to stipple this across the entire blade and the oxygen tank. This will add a quick rusty effect while also leaving some metallic detail poking through. This paint will dry quite a bit darker, so don't worry too much if it looks really bright on the palette and before it dries. If you need to, you can always go back to dark tone to darken this area back down. With this step and our final step, it's really up to you how much you want to apply to these spots. I'm going for a very heavily rusted area, so I use quite a bit of the dry rust here. And lastly, we're going to switch over to Toxic Mist from the acrylic line to add a bit of verdigris to the rust areas, using the same stippling technique as the previous step, just a bit more conservatively. Again, this is a step where you can add as much or as little as you'd like, depending on your tastes. This paint will be a bit darker when it dries as well, but I think using a wash over these last couple of steps can really tie them all together if needed. And that was my quick Poxwalker scheme. Please let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm not 100% on Maize Yellow for this. Maybe I should have used 2 coats, or possibly some Speedpaint Medium, maybe a different color. Maybe it just wasn't right for the SLAPCHOP method. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more tutorials, and also be sure to check out the top link in the description for the giveaway attached to this video. Thanks again, and happy wargaming!